Hello, and welcome to the Pearled in Texas podcast. Today is Sunday, June 5th, and this is episode 27. We want to welcome you to spend some time with us. I think we have a lot of new viewers thanks to Pia from 50 Fabulous Knits in Denmark. She gave us a shout out on her podcast, so I know we picked up a lot of new subscribers as a result. So thank you, Pia, and welcome to everyone who came from her channel. We're excited to have you joining us. And,
absolutely.
We're not always the smoothest. We just like to have fun. So,
what are you talking about? I'm totally smooth.
And I'm Elizabeth.
I'm Melissa.
I'm Carrie.
And this is mainly mainly knitting and crocheting podcast, but we sometimes talk about quilting, needle felting, spinning,
puppy
dogs, and life in general.
So always trying to get my attention.
And we like to have a few good laughs.
Yeah, we do.
And we're not really good with words. so
anyway,
a
hot mess.
Yeah, we're a hot mess.
And my 15-year-old daughter edits.
Oh yes.
So
Audrey.
you see things that a teenager would put in a podcast. That's all her.
So anyway, welcome to everyone, and we usually podcast for 45 minutes to an hour. So hope you have some fun with us.
Absolutely.
And let's get started.
Sure.
What are we wearing, Melissa?
Oh, this is a shawl I finished a couple months ago. It's called Danzig.
It's beautiful.
It was a fun
Very
project.
large. Very large.
It's really pretty.
Thank you.
Coloring.
Do you remember the yarn?
It was a Malabrigo.
Okay.
They're single ply. It starts
Nice.
with an M.
Machita.
Machita,
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm. That's
Machita.
Yep. Carrie, what are you wearing?
Clothes. I have nothing knitted on. I'm sorry, I forgot. I forgot
It
today.
is Texas.
It is
kinda
Texas. It's hot. It is hot.
And they drove a long way because we're at my house just south of Austin, Texas, and so they had a good over an hour drive, hour and a half drive.
Yeah.
At least an hour and a half for you, right?
It is. It's
Yeah.
about an hour and a half for me.
Where you
and
live.
I was rushing to get. We recently went to my sister's lake house, and while we were there, a friend of mine that visited from Canada, her name's Paulette.
Hi, Paulette.
Hi, Paulette. She taught everybody a Bloody Caesar drink, which is like a Bloody Mary, but it's made with like a clamato juice.
So good. Oh my
so
goodness.
good. And Elizabeth was saying she gave some to her parents last night. I was like, I've got 2 jugs of clamato juice. You want me to bring them when I come on Sunday? So I brought the clamato, but I had forgotten it. So I had to like turn around and go get the clamato and then come back. So I was already panicked and running late.
And you beat me here.
Yeah. And I forgot to wear something knitted. I'm still wearing clothes. I'm not naked. Last time I said I'm wearing nothing, but I'm wearing clothes, but I have nothing knitted on. So, sorry.
And I'm wearing a finished object. I'm wearing my boxy. If you guys recognize this yarn from last summer when I started boxy.
But it's no longer a boxy.
It's no longer boxy. I had knit from boxy. You knit from bottom up, and I was like ready to split for the sleeves and do the neck part, and I just kept holding it up to myself, and I'm like, I'm never gonna wear this. And I am not one to rip stuff out,
yeah.
but it was just, it was like just huge, and I was like, I know the yarn drapes and everything, but I just knew I wouldn't wear it, and so I'm like, no, I gotta frog it. So I frogged it, which I'm really happy I did, because I then made this top, which I'll stand up and you can see. It's really nice. This is the Gracious pattern from Melissa Clulo, who was formerly one of the owners of Espace Tricot. So it's a free pattern. You can get it on Ravelry. And the pattern itself is done in long sleeves and color blocked, but I just followed the pattern and did short sleeves, and I didn't color block it. Mm-hmm. And I actually have enough yarn so my mom tried it on and she loved it. But she doesn't usually like to wear my sweaters very often, but she really liked it. And so she's going to get this one. And
you're going to make another one?
I'm going to make another one. I think I have enough yarn to make a second one. Mm-hmm. So
you did have a lot of yarn. So
yeah, I had 4 skeins. So
yeah,
I think I used 2 for this one. So
it looks great.
Or just shy of 2. So that's what I'm wearing and my finished object. And I guess I'll start FOs.
Sure.
So I made a little pair of socks. These are called the heel toe no show socks, and I actually knit these on my Erlbacher Speedster. The yarn is Suburban Stitcher in the colorway Remix on her sock base, and the green was just some scraps that I had. I got this yarn several years ago along with this bag that was done by Mrs. Brown's Bags, Jody. from the Grocery Girls, and this was her B-splat fabric. And I think she still was doing some bags this year in this fabric. She ordered more, but I don't know if she has any left on her website. But anyway, this came as a set, and it was a few years ago, and I just got on a whim and thought, I'm going to knit those up. And so
they look cute.
They are. I
thought
like
they
your
were very
contrast color.
summery.
They are summery.
So I have enough yarn to make a second pair, so I'll make my mom a pair because that's kind of what I do. Make one for me and one for my mom. So.
That's really nice.
So many socks.
So anyway, so that, and then one other FO I have is my pink velvet sweater, which I was knitting on last time. And I'm not going to try it on because it's very hot, but
it is hot here. And next week we're going to be in the hundreds like every day. Tomorrow, Monday, all the way to Friday.
Wow.
Anywhere from 100 to 103. At least that's what's forecast.
It's not even August yet.
Yeah.
So this was done in Interlacements Michigan Forest Floor, and for the main color, and then the yoke was done in Red Stag Fiber in his Surrey base in the color. Oh, I can't remember. Was it St. Andrews? Castle?
I don't know.
I think Castle Surrey St. Andrews is the color. So anyway, it blocked out really nice. It's really it's actually very lightweight, but that's heavy for us in Texas.
It is.
I really love how this. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to start you.
That's okay.
How like the sleeves didn't pull; it just did the little stripy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Even through the body, you did a good job making sure it didn't pull or anything.
Yeah, and I did. It was one huge mammoth skein, and so there are no ends or anything. When I got to the sleeves, when I got down to here, and I was supposed to do two more decreases, and I did the one, and it started to pool in a way that I didn't like. So then I thought, no, this is enough decreases, and I just didn't do the last two decreases and just finished off.
That's
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, anyhow, that is finished, and I'll be anxious to wear it this fall and winter.
Yeah.
So
when it gets cold.
yeah, when it gets cold, dreaming about cold days.
Yes.
Do you guys have any FOs?
Okay, so I felt really guilty that I didn't have any FOs for a while. So I took a sock tube that had Elizabeth crank, and then I got these done.
So cute.
I believe I split these with Mary for when we did a swap. This is out of Fairy Tale Knits Queen's Fingering. It is in the Nagini colorway. So I think that's the snake on Harry Potter.
It is.
Oh, okay. I love the contrast color you used too. It's really cute.
Thank you. So this is actually, it's really a light finger weight. It was like 490 yards for 3.5 ounces. So it was a lot, and it's 100% superwash merino.
Perfect. Very nice. Mm-hmm. Good job.
Thanks.
Finishing something. Carrie, do you have any FOs?
I have a hoe.
A hoe? A ho. It's not even Christmas.
I finally pulled out my speedster and
Oh,
said,
yay!
I'm going to make a second. I have not made the second one. But this was just a little bit before Mother's Day. I thought I was going to be like really great and like try and crank out some socks for Mother's Day, and I was lucky to get one done. So thank you for letting me use your blocker. But I'm still learning. I think maybe I'll just crank some tubes and have to knit some tubes for a while. But this is the yarn that I showed from Yarn Mafia last time. It's called Mood Swings, and it already comes like on the cone. So so it's my first ever sock. I did the hung hem thing here, and then I did the heel and the toe, and then
you did a good job.
You can see my Kitchener-ing. It's pretty messy right there. It's my first time, so be nice, but you can see where it Kitchered all the way across. But it was my
Sorry, we have
one.
a guest.
We do. I almost sat on him.
This is Sullivan, one of my cockapoos. He's
in love with Carrie.
Oldest one. He's 12 years old, and he rules the house.
I love him so much. So
yeah,
that's my only hoe. I still have plenty of this yarn to make the second sock. So, but I was pretty excited. So I made one tube with my machine, and that pair of sock I had to put in the afterthought heels and toes, and I gave that pair to Darlene, but this is my first ever sock, like the heel,
thing.
the hung hem, the heel, and the
That's
toe.
good.
It's my first one ever.
That's
so
a good
I was-
accomplishment.
That's pretty.
Because
that's
I remember
pretty exciting.
when I did my first one, I was like, oh my gosh, this was like kind of a game changer.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
pretty
once
exciting.
you've done it a few times,
Yeah,
you're good.
so-
you can get the feel.
But
of
it took me a lot longer than I thought it would take me, and I had to walk away a couple of times. I dropped a few stitches, and I had to bring them back up. I restarted a few times. I mean, all sorts of stuff, and I'm still just getting the feel of the machine. So, but I enjoyed it. So,
The sock machines are fun, but it's actually I was surprised. I've had mine for about 2 years now, but it's quite a learning curve.
it is. Mhm.
It's a
It is.
completely
But it
different
is-
craft, but
It
it's
is a
fun.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
Mhm. It is a lot of fun.
And you can whip out some socks in no time once you get it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right. How about whips?
I've got several whips. So this is going to be the awesome granny family whips, because everything that I have going on right now is all for Darlene's family. So her nephew and niece-in-law, I guess they're expecting. They've been trying for quite some time, and they are expecting, which was very, very exciting, Shannon and Nina. So I got some cotton yarn. This is kind of from Jimmy Bean's Wool. What's it called? It's Ethiopian, I think.
Oh,
Oh, it's that
It's hand spun hoe, perfectly imperfect. It's 100% Ethiopian cotton. It's 368 yards for 100 grams. And I'm pretty sure it's hand spun by some ladies.
Wow.
There.
They're an
And-
interesting company. It's
Yeah,
great to
so
support.
it's just they don't have the gender of the child yet, so it's just a very neutral color. And Darlene had made a comment. She said, wouldn't it be cool to make a Nuvem as a baby blanket? So this is the start of a Nuvem, and I've made a couple of Nuvems. So you start in the middle and then you work out. Right now it looks kind of awkward because you've got all these needles going on because you can't quite make the turn yet in one circular needle.
so eventually you'll be knitting around.
So eventually I'll be
rectangle
knitting
or
around in a
oval or-
rectangle.
yeah.
It's very rectangular style with this, these are the increases here on the end where you can see they kind of come out in these little triangles, and then there'll be a ruffle. But this end, the reason why you, from one needle to another needle, because even with a 3.5 inch needle, it's just kind of hard to make this turn, especially when you're down here, because this is where you start. And there's just, so you kind of have to start on 2 needles, kind of like Judy's magic loop is the cast
Okay.
on. So kind of like the toe of a sock.
That's an interesting construction.
It's a very interesting construction. And this pattern
no
has been
frills.
out for years. This is by Martina Baim. She has a company called Stich mich, which is Knit Me in German.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
The more you know, right?
Uh-huh.
Read
And
a
I've,
rainbow, Audrey, make that happen.
light bulb.
light bulb. So, yeah, I'm sure I pronounced that incorrectly, but anyway, so I love the pattern, and once I get onto one needle, it's pretty mindless. So it'll just go round and round, but it's cotton and it feels good, for a baby. So I'm excited to get that for them. And then I'm almost done with Trenton's. Trenton is Darlene's grandson. Him and his girlfriend
that's
are
growing quite a bit.
expecting. So
Oh, that is big.
I'm working on the edging for this blanket. So here's the thing. Clearly, I crochet just as tightly as I knit. And I had no clue that there was a gauge to this thing. So I cast on the number that it said to cast on, and I went back and forth, and it says keep going. Repeat this row till you get 30 inches, right? So I was repeating it, and I made it to 30 inches, right? So then it says to pick up the stitches around, because you chain 90 to start. So there's like 90 down here. So then
Wow.
you've got a couple of doubles in the edges, but then when you go down this side, that's 30 inches. I'm supposed to be picking up 88, which is supposed to be smaller than the
Oh no!
This is not smaller than this. So this is about 20 inches but it's supposed to be
gosh.
30.
Oh, no.
And then I, of course, did go to full 30. So I'm just doing more single crochets around the border, and there'll just be more border. And it won't be a 32 by 32 blanket. It'll be like a 22 by 32 blanket.
That'd
So
be fine.
The baby will not mind.
I don't think the baby's going to mind either. So I just don't know what I'm doing when it comes to crochet.
That yarn is, did you say? I'm sorry.
This yarn is Drops Paris, I think is what it's called. It's 100% cotton. It's worsted. It's got like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it has 82 yards for 50 grams. So that's like 164 for 100 grams. So it's just Paris Drops cotton. This was in my stash when I found out that Trenton and Sammy were expecting. So I just used that. And then I decided to make the same blanket also for Nina and Shannon. And that one started, and I'm pretty sure it's also not 30 inches across, but I'm not ripping this out. So
If you stretch it,
I'm sure it's cotton. So I'm sure it's gonna.
Here, give me.
it'll block out.
I'm sure it's gonna
It's
go
30 inches.
eventually. But so I started this one too, and this one is with Blue Sky Wool organic cotton. So
Nice.
Was this in your stash as well?
no, I bought this after I found out that I
That's
bought
nice
this at
and
the same
soft.
time that I bought the Ethiopian cotton, because I was looking through my stash for something perfect for them, and they'd been trying for a really, really long time, and I was like, let me just get an order going. So, and Darlene was going to order some. I think she ordered also some of that Ethiopian cotton, and was also going to make a Nuvem. So she'll get like 2 cotton blankets.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure
Nice.
nobody there
Nice.
watches the podcast, so I don't think I'm like giving away any secret information. So, and those are all my whips. That's my actively working on whips list at the time. So.
I just brought my love note. I haven't worked on this in a while. I think I need to switch needles to the smaller ones
It looks
to
good.
do the cuff on
Oh.
this.
Yep.
And then I'll start the other sleeve. And then the neck. And then I'll work the rest of the body.
I really do love this color.
That's so pretty.
I love the little pops of like brownish rust.
Yeah,
that
I
come
did
out.
notice that the new skein has a little bit more brown in it, but I don't think it'll matter when it's
I don't think it
on.
will either. I think it looks great.
Mhm.
I think it looks absolutely
Great.
perfect.
And then I also brought our blanket. I haven't really touched this one.
Oh, I forgot to bring my blanket. I finished the pattern for
Did
that.
you? I did not.
Sorry, I
haven't touched
finished. I finished May. We're about to get June, so
I still have to do May. I finished April finally, but not May.
it. Okay.
I just haven't wanted to work on it.
Is mine. Elizabeth, when we were at the lake house, Elizabeth says, "Why don't you just put markers every repeat?" I'm like, I used to do that all the time. I don't know why I stopped doing that, so I did, and I pulled out all my old school vintage rose stitch markers.
It's so much easier when you have a pattern to follow, and this is just, it's not even lace, it's just like patterns with knits and pearls. But it just makes it so much easier to see where you need to be and to see mistakes.
Yeah,
So it's worth
where you get.
it's better
worth
to
the
see the
time.
mistake down here instead of
Yeah.
getting to the tip at the halfway point and you're not slipping the marker at the right time. Then you're like, oh, I've got to tink all the way back down. And with
Yeah.
black, it's hard.
It
so.
is very hard
is,
with
yeah.
black.
But it looks great.
It's really
It's
pretty.
really good.
I'm enjoying it so far, and I feel like there's 4 of us making it, and we're all in a text group, and
Yeah.
I think it helps that we're all like keeping each other accountable.
It does.
Except for me, I've fallen off.
But we know that you're
I'll get it
you've
done this
been-
week.
You have been traveling so
I have.
much
I've been
lately.
on a lot.
and
Some
knitting is-
personal, some
Yeah.
work, and so much travel.
Yep.
So that's the ones that I brought, and then I had Audrey pick up my next sock tube to turn into a sock. So
Oh, that'll be fun.
Nice.
we'll see if I can get that done
Nice.
before next time.
What am I working on? So we went to the lake house to Carrie's sister's last weekend. Memorial
Last
Day
weekend. Mhm.
Gosh, I can't even
Memorial
keep
Day
track of time.
weekend.
So I had started a new project since I finished my pink velvet, and I'm using that Manos del Uruguay Milo
In the log cabin.
in the
colorway.
log cabin colorway, which I showed last podcast. I had picked that up when I was in Vermont. So here's the colorway.
I love that colorway. I've almost bought it 3 times.
And it's a merino. It's a really
Linen.
nice yarn. It's 65% merino and 35% linen. So it kind of feels a little crunchy, but then
Sure.
as you're knitting with it, it's softens. I don't know if it's from the heat of your hands and from working the linen fibers, if it just breaks them up and softens them up. But anyway, I started, and what sweater is it? Hold on one second. I thought I had everything organized. I started the, what is it called? Flores sweater.
Oh, that's pretty.
By Iri Shimizu, the Flores sweater. And it's it's hard to see, but it's a ribbed, a textured rib pattern. So it's kind of fun. The
Only
increase...
you would think that ribbing is fun.
I love to rib. Oh, I just dropped all my stitches. Oh, goodness. Hold on one second. I did have a little, not issue, but I had to pay attention at the lake house. It took me a little while because you're doing raglan increases in pattern and
short rows.
In short rows. Oh, it was the short rows. Yeah. So it was the German short rows on top of raglan increases in a pattern.
Oh my
It
God.
was a lot of thinking, but I got through it. So anyway,
One of those patterns that says do this at the same time, do this, and at the same time do this.
So I'm not very far. This is kind of the neckline, and here's where all the German short rows are. So this is the back.
Looks
You can see
good.
the textured.
You can see the texture. It looks really good.
So anyway, I'm enjoying it. I'm now to the part where I'm just doing more, just raglan increases. I'm done with the short rows. So,
And you're cute Winnie the Pooh.
and my cute Winnie the
that
Pooh
bag.
bag.
That is so
This
cute.
was from Little Skein and the Big Wool. I got this several years ago.
She sold out of that very quickly because I remember I
I
tried to
love
snag
Winnie the
one.
Pooh. Piglet.
Oh, she
Piglet's
probably
my favorite.
carjacked you.
She probably did.
And Piglet has yarn. I just realized that. I didn't realize that before. Look at this side. He's so cute. He's knitting Pooh's sweater.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so cute. So anyway, so that's my whip. Oh no, then Pia from 50 Fabulous Knits released her shawl pattern, and I am not going to be able to say this lovely word. Skaersommernat.
Very good attempt.
Go ahead and laugh at me. I don't care. It means midsummer night, and it's this beautiful lace shawl, and she designed it for the intent of knitting one beautiful skein of sock yarn and then pairing it with some mohair. So I had of course I have a lot of single skeins, a lot of fingering weight, but anyway.
There's a lot of mohair too. Don't let her
I do have a lot of mohair. I have a lot of yarn. Okay, stop.
We aren't judging you.
Anyway, I had this skein of yarn that I had gotten several years ago, so it was from Stash, so I feel pretty good about using it. It was from Yarnies of Texas, and it is in the radish. I don't spike specs radish. I don't know radish, but there's like 3 A's.
Oh.
Radish.
Spike
Like it's
spec-
rad?
This must be from something.
They're being
It's rad-ish.
They're being
Oh!
They're being punny. Rad-ish.
What can I say? Anyway,
We're not cool. We're not modern.
I'm not cool. I'm old.
so cool.
So anyway, it's this very neutral, natural color with all kinds of little, very, very tiny,
It's kind
tiny,
of coming up more
Very
pink.
Speck,
rad speckles. all
very
over
rad
it.
speckles. It's coming up a little bit pink on camera. I don't know why, but anyway, I just started it yesterday, and it's just light as air,
No, I
It
want to
looks
make one.
amazing.
and it's going to be so beautiful.
I kind of need
So
to make one now.
you're doing garter stitch, alternating between your mohair and at a certain rate between the mohair and the fingering, and then the lace sections are done in the fingering. So I'm loving it. It's
No, I
super
want one.
lightweight.
Yeah, I kind of want one
Yeah,
too.
I know.
Sorry if that
So-
made noise on the microphone.
Really good project. So just started that. So those are my whips, my active whips. I don't know. Anything else? You already showed yours.
I have like 2 stash enhancements
Oh,
to
okay.
your 7 million. I think she has 7 million. I have 2. She has 7 million.
7
When
million.
Elizabeth passes on, she's going to be reincarnated as a sheep. Or an alpaca.
Or an alpaca.
Or a Surrey. What is a Surrey? Alpaca? Oh.
It's a it's a
alpaca.
type of fleece. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll let.
Well,
before we do stash enhancements, let's talk about the giveaway.
Okay, let's do that.
Before y'all throw me in the toilet and flush me down, let's do the giveaway.
I was thinking throwing you in front of a bus,
I know.
but okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, last time we announced that when we got to 500 subscribers, we were going to give away a copy of this Yoga of Yarn book by Liza Laird, who was the woman from Ragline Knits that hosted the retreat that I went to in Vermont in April. And it's a signed copy that I picked up while I was there. And because Pia announced our podcast, we picked up quite a few viewers. We're well past 500. We're
thank you.
Just shy of 600.
So,
so again, thank you to Pia and welcome to everyone new. Mm-hmm. But we're going to go ahead and give this away. What we'd like you to do.
So we'd like for you to comment below on this video. So if you're obviously you're a YouTube user, you wouldn't be watching us right now. So you can comment below and tell us, have you ever done yoga? Yes or no? And if you haven't, then just say, no, I've never done yoga. But if you have, tell us your favorite pose.
Yeah.
So we'll have those down here. And then if you're not commenting here on YouTube, I will open a thread in Ravelry for comments as well. We're going to combine the comments and take one winner from both sets of comments to win this book. And just so in case you want to do it on Ravelry or in case you want to do it on YouTube, it doesn't matter. I'll put them together and then we'll do a random drawing. We'll probably have like Siri or Alexa do it or something and put it together and then we'll announce it on the next podcast after everybody's put the comments and we'll get this sent out.
So we'll close the comments down end of June. That gives people
that's
time.
Perfect. Yeah,
we probably won't podcast again.
Today's the 5th, so we probably won't podcast until July. So yeah,
early July. So we'll shut the comments off at the end of June.
Mm-hmm. So. Sure.
Or 1st of July. Forever.
Sure, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
shortly before we podcast.
So make sure you comment. We'd love to hear if you're doing yoga or haven't, or if
even tell us your story if it's been a great success for you, like it was for Elizabeth with her frozen shoulder and stuff.
Frozen shoulders tremendously.
So tell us your favorite pose of backache, shoulder ache, whatever. So absolutely.
And Liza ran out of these books on her website, but then I think she ordered more. So if you're interested in
I've ordered one since our last podcast and I got it in the mail and it's a great book. So
so it's got patterns and yoga stuff and it's really good for knitters. So highly recommend that. Okay, so that was our giveaway. Cow. Let's talk about our cow.
Yeah, let's talk about we wanted to do another cow. We said we'd do one in June. And we're in June, right?
Yeah.
July.
Well, we said we'd talk about it.
We'd talk about it in June.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, we would talk about it in June, which is what we're doing now. Yeah. But I think we're going to have it start in July.
Yeah, so we were thinking, I'm a Christmas fanatic, self-admitted.
She's a Christmas craziness fanatic.
And so I always do Christmas in July. Starting in July, I kind of get the itch to start knitting Christmas gifts. And so I thought we would do in that vein. I know not everyone celebrates Christmas, but we would do in the vein of Christmas holiday gifting. We would do kind of a gifting cal. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have it run for 3 months. So starting July 1st through the end of September. So you just have to knit anything. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be accessories, sweaters, scarves, hats.
It could be
socks.
even like a birthday gift for someone. It could be anything.
Yeah, and it could be any kind of a gift.
Any kind of gift.
Or just because I appreciate you here.
Yeah. And our goal is to hopefully use stash as well. Mm-hmm. So kind of a stash gifting.
Because we know everybody loves to use stash. So we encourage that.
Yeah. And we've never really have like a lot of strict rules on our giveaways. So
yeah.
We're pretty welcoming and, kind of go with the flow.
Police
if you want to double dip, go for it.
Double dip.
Absolutely.
Encouraged.
Absolutely.
If you're doing summer sock camp and you want to make someone a pair of socks and give them away, then enter.
Yeah,
right here. Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, so you'll put the thread.
I'll get a thread started. We'll have a chat thread in Ravelry.
We have a user group in Ravelry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's called Pearlden, Texas. And then we'll have a chat thread so everybody can talk about the gifts or what gifts they're thinking about doing or what they want to do or what their plans are. And then we'll have an FO thread as well. Yeah. So, yeah.
And then we'll have a giveaway. I don't know what the prize is yet, but we have lots of stuff in our
We'll figure out
stash
something.
of prizes. So
we'll figure out something.
If not, we'll steal something from Elizabeth's stash.
I love to give away stuff. So
if we took if we took 30 somethings from her room upstairs, I guarantee you she wouldn't even notice them missing. She would just be like, I can't find that bag. I know it's up there
just go buy
somewhere.
more.
I'll just buy another one.
I'm gonna have to join a different podcast. You guys are just abusing me.
You like it. Just kidding.
But I love to give away stuff, and sometimes when I'm at the store, I'll be like, "Oh, I can buy this for a giveaway."
It's awesome.
I
awesome.
love to share. So because it makes me happy, and it makes me happy to make other people happy.
Of course.
Same. Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah,
we get that.
so we love that.
We get that.
Anyway, and I did inherit last year a lot of yarn from my friend Phyllis, so I'm using some of that as giveaway stuff too.
So you're getting a piece of Phyllis.
Giving a piece of Phyllis, who was, if you're new, she was my knitting mentor who passed away last year. So a dear friend of mine from Michigan. So
great lady.
Anyhow, okay, so that's the giveaway. Tips.
Yes.
So we're at the lake
Mohair
house.
and the freezer.
Carrie was talking about having to rip something out in Mohair, and she was.
It was my love note.
It was your love note.
You ripped
you're
out
like,
your love note?
No, I didn't rip the whole thing out, but
she's
I had
gonna loosen the neck, right?
I couldn't get it. I finished the neck so I could use the rest of the yarn to do the body because I wanted it a little bit longer. So it was a provisional cast on, and I wanted to finish the neck and then the sleeves and then use the rest of my yarn for the body because I wanted it longer than the pattern, and I knew I was going to run a little bit short on yarn. So I couldn't get it over my head because clearly I have
a big
head. I don't know. So, and so I had to undo everything. I mean, I had done the bind off and everything, and I was like, this is not gonna fit.
Okay.
So,
and this is just more evidence. Carrie is an extremely tight knitter.
I am
extremely
a very tight knitter.
I've never witnessed that before.
I'm and clearly also a crocheter. So whatever. And so I had to tink back like 4 or 5 of the rows that were done in ribbing for the collars, and it was a pain because it had all this mohair and fingering held together, and I'm trying to save the yarn so I can go as far as possible, and it was the mohair I was going to run short on. It was the mohair I only had like 2 skeins of, and it was a discontinued color. So that's when Elizabeth said,
I'm like, well, so the trick for mohair, if you have to rip something out with mohair, whether it's all mohair or a combination, is to put the item in a plastic bag and put it in the freezer for like 15 to 30 minutes and then rip out some. It helps the fibers like tense up and are less sticky. And then as it starts to warm up, if you feel it's starting to stick again, put it back in the freezer for another 10, 15 minutes, pull it out, do some more. Yeah, makes it a lot easier to rip out. So
great tip.
So.
Just a little bit too late. But good for future reference.
Yes.
Well, I'm still working on mine, so maybe I'll use it.
My mind was blown when she told me that. I was like, wow. So that was pretty cool.
Anyway, okay. Stash enhancements, supporting our economy.
I think she gets nervous when we hit stash enhancements.
Well, because I know some people don't like to see it. So if you don't like to see stash enhancements, now would be the time to tune out. I won't be offended. Vicky, this is for you.
Yeah. Vicky's always so excited. Way to go, Elizabeth.
Yeah. She's my biggest supporter and enabler.
It's always good to
She's one of our Canadian viewers, so it's always fun.
Yeah.
But
so
we'll let Carrie go first.
Yeah, I only have 2. So I ordered some yarn last year in August. Okay,
Goodness.
I ordered it on Etsy from a place. I think it was called Dottie Woolly or something like the Dottie Wool or something like that. And it was this great self-striping yarn, and I got 1 skein in DK and 2 skeins in fingering because I wanted to use it for my machine. I ordered this before my machine came in. I was so excited. And it was a pre-order, so I knew it was going to take a while, and it was coming from the UK. So I waited and I waited and I waited, and I never got it. And she said, I sent it. There was no tracking, and, we worked everything out, whatever. That package showed up in May.
Oh, wow.
I am
Oh, my
not kidding
goodness.
you. I am
like
absolutely not kidding you. So I only brought 1 of the skeins because they're all 3 of the same colorway.
Oh, wow.
And it's called Back to
Pretty.
School.
Oh, so pretty.
And it reminds me of the San Francisco 49ers colorway. So, yeah. So anyway, and she gets it in this cute little ball. So I got 2 of this in fingering and 1 in DK.
Do they call that a gumball when they wrap it that way?
I think some people call it a gumball, and I've heard it called something else, but I can't think of the word right now because there was one lady that I ordered from, and they called it something else. But
like a jawbreaker?
Yeah.
Oh, jawbreaker?
Like a jaw, I don't know, but it's like they ball it up. Like every color change, they go in a different direction, and then a different direction.
I wouldn't even want to knit it because it's so cool wrapped up.
Yeah. So I love it. So May, I ordered this last August, and I can't believe it showed up. I had already received a refund from Etsy and the whole 9 yards, and so I was pretty pleased. And she even has dots on her packaging.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that cute?
That's so cute.
I think I'm pretty sure it's called the Dottie Wool Company, because there's her sticker. So packaging presentation was perfect. Even the mail packaging was the same golden white
my
dots.
goodness.
It was perfect. So.
Well, no wonder it took so long. Whoever was shipping it wanted to keep looking at
I'm
it.
telling you, the post office had fun with this stuff for months and months, 10 months almost. But I'm impressed that it finally showed up. So I did
So
get
cool.
that. And then I think I've mentioned before last year, every year I test knit stole for a friend of mine, Bridget. She lives in the Netherlands. And it's almost time around July, August is when she's starting to write the pattern and get it out. And in previous years, I've done it with some like lace weight yarn, and then I've also used fingering. And last year, she said she was going to do fingering only because the pattern pops there's 12 different sections, and it pops better. So every year, I gift it to Darlene, so she knows she gets that stole every year for Christmas. And this year, I already ordered the yarn for it, and I love it. This screams Darlene.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Emma's yarn.
In the Ice Baby colorway. I have 2 of these.
That's so pretty.
Mm-hmm. Is it gonna have beads in it?
It is.
Okay.
Is it always beaded?
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
You can make it unbeaded, but I always bead it because
it's always so beautiful.
It always looks good. So yes, this is Emma's yarn in the Ice Baby colorway. I think that's upside down. Ice Baby colorway. So, and this it's so soft and it's so perfect, and it just says Darlene to me because she loves these turquoise colors. So hopefully she's too busy at work to watch this podcast.
I have to grab my
Not that it's going to be that
phone.
much of a
1 second.
surprise.
Excuse me, 1 second.
Do you have any stash?
I do.
All right.
Do you have more than 2?
No. Okay, I was at our local yarn shop, which is Needles.
Farm to
to Needles. I'm sorry. And I'm like, I can't stop by there without getting something.
I have that. That's the last one I got when I was there. I love that colorway. Sorry.
It's Cedar House yarn.
It's so pretty.
And yeah. This
What's
is
the
an
color
Elizabeth colorway. It's called Elizabeth. No. Cedar House yarn sapling Quail's egg.
It looks
So
great.
I
pretty.
haven't put it on Ravelry yet, so don't be mad at
Let
me.
me get it up closer so they can see the lovely.
Sure.
It's like
All
a
those pops.
light
I think it's
pinky
'cause
beige, and
I
then
saw-
it's got like rust colored and burgundy, like.
Those pops of color say Carrie. The pink says Elizabeth, but the pops of rust say Carrie.
It's like Carrie and I were sitting next to each other and
yes.
rubbed off on
and
each
we
other.
rubbed off on each other. That's what that colorway is.
That's
And I think
so
part
funny.
of it was because I just watched 50 Fabulous Knits, and she had this really neat, cute t-shirt on, and it had a little bit of pink with the black and the white stripes. So I'm like, ooh. So I might have to like sneak back in there and get a black and a white one. Copy hers. I don't know. And then I got my club shipment from Suburban Stitcher. I get her sport weight, and then this is Mother of Pearl colorway.
I can open it. Since we have
Thank
her boxed
you.
in.
I just didn't, stick me in the middle for the treetop. I'm the top of the mountain.
Symmetry.
Symmetry.
We need the symmetry.
And your nails look fabulous. So.
Thank you. I just got them done. They won't stay this way for long, but I like to do them every once in a while.
So that's my 2 enhancements.
All right. Well,
Are we ready? Grab your popcorn, chopsticks if you prefer to eat your popcorn or Doritos with chopsticks.
It keeps your
Kick
hands clean.
back.
I'm gonna make it quick. I do have a lot, but I'm gonna do it quick.
And relax.
Okay, so
Here we go.
For all the yarny yumminess.
So I mentioned that I went on a yarn retreat in Vermont in the end of April. And part of that, we did a little side trip to a farm where they had sheep and they had baby lambs that were had been born recently in lambing season. And so we got to pet them and hold them and all this good stuff. And then the woman, her name was Peggy, and her husband Todd. I think they're originally one's from Chicago and one's from Wisconsin. And then they sold everything and moved and bought this farm, and living the great life in Vermont. And anyway, they also bought a small mill. So we got to go for kind of a private tour of their little mill. And then they had yarn that we could buy. So this is like part 2 of my trip.
She bought the whole store.
I bought it quite a bit.
She might as well have just bought the mill.
So they're not labeled, so they don't have colorways. It's all DK
It's
weight.
all gorgeous. I can't wait to see what you make.
I'm just going to show them in pairings or groupings. So
Do they smell all woolly?
they do. Here, you can sniff.
Okay.
They do. They smell.
You know, Melissa loves
they
to
smell
sniff all the
fabulous.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, that's nice.
So they
are so squishy.
So I got these 3, which are going to be, I don't know what, but you can see.
They
It's
look
really
great.
gorgeous. So pink tones, mauve tones into a green. And then I got a couple other fun ones. Sorry. Melissa for me to sit on you.
I like those.
Me too.
Yep.
Are those
So-
all the same color? Or are they?
Nope.
'Cause- Okay, they're different.
They're all different.
Okay. But they look like they could
But
be.
they
Like
can
if you open
fade,
up the
yeah.
stain, you can see.
Feed into each other.
But
And
they're
then-
all one of a kinds, right? They like don't ever have any that are the same.
No,
or do
they had like
They have some.
yeah, they had some that were the same. Like I could have gotten 2 skeins of this. They might be slightly different.
Sure.
Just like Spin Cycle, it's kind of in that vein.
Sure. I think that's my favorite though.
Yeah, I
but
love these.
don't ask me why.
Matches your shirt.
So I got those, and then they also had some gorgeous solids, which I got, and they did have multiple.
Look at that
quantities.
rust color. That rust color is amazing.
Can't hold it all. So,
Ooh, wow, that one's gorgeous.
so these 4 solids. This is like a real dark brown. It's kind of hard to see. And then I got this.
That one. Right
Wow,
there.
that popped right there.
Yeah.
It just pulls it
So
all
that's
together.
gonna probably be a sweater, colorwork sweater.
She'll have it done next week.
Next week.
No, I'm not gonna be knitting on this for a while.
Okay.
So that was from that mill, which was a lot of fun. And I'm gonna put a link because they have a room, like an Airbnb room that they rent
yeah.
out. So if you're ever in
That's
that
awesome.
area, so I'll give you a link to put in the notes.
I'll put it in
whatever.
the show notes.
Then on the last day of my trip, I took a different route than I had taken because I flew into Boston, and I don't know what roads I was on, but I stopped to go to the bathroom. This is always what happens to me. I stopped to go to the bathroom,
Stops to go to the
and I
bathroom.
found a yarn shop.
And it's like, yeah.
You're so
Even when I'm
magical.
traveling.
That's
Yeah.
a magic thing.
Anyway, I googled up and found that there was a place called the Green Mountain Spinnery, and I went
Sounds
in there.
familiar.
And there was a lady working. She was a part-time worker. It was on a Sunday. They happened to be open. She gave me a tour of the whole place. So I'm going to give you a couple photos to put in of their machines. It's just amazing, their equipment. And she gave me a tour even through the back room where they have the incoming wool and cotton and stuff. It was pretty amazing. Anyway, I picked up some stuff while I was there. And this is called Evergreen. It's like a olivey green color. And then this one is called Joplin 9425.
I like that color.
Dark greens, olive greens,
And these are
kind of like
DK
a-
weights. 100%
Yes.
fine wool.
Yes.
All fiber grown in the USA.
Yep. So I got these. This one is called Armstrong, and this is Parker. Parker and Armstrong. And they have a website. You can actually
that
order.
sounds like that could be one person's name.
Yeah.
Armstrong.
I was thinking like a dog name.
You can order online from them as well. They have an online shop. This is their solids. Then this is,
Everything feels like really lanolin
Platata,
and
which is
rustic.
kind of like a grayish brown. Yeah, it feels amazing. And this one is called ancho, like an ancho pepper or chili. It's like a burgundy color. This one is called Coltrane. It's kind of an ochre color. And this one is called Tronito. And it's a really dark, dark green. It almost looks black, but it's actually super dark hunter green. So, got those. And then 2 others.
Ooh, pretty.
This one's called White Wedding. and Diamonds and Rust. And I'm going to do some kind of a colorwork hat with these
fun.
two. Yep. And they had a cute hat pattern that was done up. I'll have to
She's not
print it
putting
out.
that down her shawl. She's not putting that down her shawl.
And then
The rust one.
I also got this one. It's called Waller, and it's purple with like turquoise and fuchsia in there. And then I got a couple solids, Blue Bayou and Touch of Gray. So that's going to be a sweater.
Ooh, pretty.
This will be
That's
the
gonna go
main.
to- that's
I got a
gonna
couple
go.
skeins of this. So this will be the main sweater, and then this will be the color work.
Do you see? Look at her.
She did not have breast enhancement surgery during the podcast. She's stealing my yarn.
She had yarn enhancement surgery during the podcast.
Oh my god, you guys are hysterical.
Carrie told me to do it. It's not my fault.
You weren't supposed to tell on me. I'm
shoot,
sorry
I
if that
lost
hit
my
the
book.
microphone.
Then I went to Chicago. So that's my end of my Vermont trip.
She's been
Shenanigans.
traveling a lot lately.
I
When
have.
said that earlier. I wasn't kidding.
Then I was home for like, I think, I don't know, a week or two, and I had to go to Chicago. Yeah, I went to Chicago mid-May. So
And then
For
the
some
lake
training,
house.
and-
And then she came home from the lake house, and then she sent her parents off. So she has the house all to
Michigan, so-
herself.
Yeah, it's lovely. But anyway, I had to get a direct flight. I had to take like an early morning flight the day before my training, and I didn't want to get in late at night and have to worry about, my plane, because the airline situation right now is just horrendous with cancellations and stuff. And I had this really important 3-day training class with like all the big wigs in my company, and it was the first time I had been to my headquarters because I hired in during COVID. So I was meeting all these people for the first time, and I just didn't want the stress of getting in late. So I took an early morning flight the day before, and I had some time on my hands. So
To go to the bathroom.
go to the bathroom
and find a yarn shop.
We need to put that on a t-shirt
We do. We need to put that on a
to make that
t-shirt.
happen.
So I went to the Wool and Company store in South Elgin, which was
I
deceiving.
order from them online all the time.
And I
all the
never
time.
ordered from them.
They ship super fast, and it's always perfectly presented in the package. I love ordering from them.
Because I was there on a Monday, some of the other yarn shops that I wanted to go to were closed. They're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. I was like, oh, okay. But this place was open. So, and when I drove up, I was like, kind of deceiving because the storefront is kind of almost in like an industrial park looking building. But you walk through the door and it's amazing because it's super high ceilings, concrete floor, beautiful displays, and just enormous amount of space with
That's awesome.
I mean, it was just such a good experience going in there. So if you're ever in that area, I highly recommend a trip there.
Or if you even want to order online, because
order
their
online.
online experience is fabulous.
Yes,
Their
and-
customer service is fabulous. Their packaging is amazing. They ship super fast, like the same day you order usually. Unless, of course, you're ordering like 10 o'clock at night, which I'm never awake that late. But
Yeah. And they have a club, I don't know if it's a club, like a membership thing where you pay $50 for a year and it gives you 10% off on everything. And I think free shipping. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, and then you also get a free skein of sock yarn from Leading
Leading Men Fiber Arts.
Yes, thank you. You get a skein of sock yarn. So, I don't know, the discount and what I spent there and the free
$50
skein
was
yarn,
a deal.
I got my money's worth.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but I picked up this book called Strands of Joy. It's a colorwork book from Anna Joanna.
Ooh, pretty.
And there's some really pretty pictures,
Very
really pretty patterns in here. So I'm hoping to do some, like, I love
Wow.
this. I love that. There's some really beautiful colorwork sweaters and stuff.
I love color work and seeing it, but
And
I
this.
can't knit it.
Oh my
at
gosh,
this.
now I want that book.
Look how beautiful that is.
I mean, it's just gorgeous. So I'm hoping to use some of this woolly wool that I got on my Vermont trip and maybe do a couple projects from this.
I'm excited to see that.
Excited about that. I also got some yarn while I was there. Big surprise.
Because she went to the bathroom.
'Cause I went to the
So she
bathroom.
had to buy yarn.
So I got, I was actually pretty restrained there. I got this from the Leading Men Fiber Arts in their sparkle
Oh,
sock.
that's pretty.
And the colorway is called Yarn Hoarder.
I love his.
And it's so
He
beautiful.
did that.
Your color was.
He
your
did that
colors
for
too.
Amber from
For
the Yarn
Amber?
Hoarder.
Okay.
Yeah, from the Yarn Hoarder podcast.
It's
Because they're
so-
really good friends.
It's so pretty.
That was very.
It's like so
like
much
you.
sparkle. I'm like, oh. So that'll become some socks probably. And for my free skein, I got the monthly colorway, which was called Notorious.
And that's punny too. Notorious.
Notorious. Yeah, I got that one.
It almost matches your sweater.
It does. That's funny. But pinks, purples, I love it. And then they had, see, we're almost done. It hasn't been too bad. So they had this yarn that I had never seen before from Hedgehog Fibers. It's called Alpaca Boucle, and it's a lace weight. And it comes in a 100-gram skein. You get 620 meters. That's a lot of yardage.
So that's like 682 yards.
Yeah. And this colorway is called Urchin. And it's so beautiful. It's very, almost like a natural with very, very pale pink. And then just different speckling of like purple, lavender, brown, tiny bit of blue.
That definitely says Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 2 skeins of that. And then I got this from the fiber company, Cherry Blossom, on their Meadow base, which is baby llama, silk, and linen, and merino. And it's super soft. So I'm going to hold those together and do some kind of a sweater. I'm not sure what yet. But I thought that this was so pale that this will really just kind of lay over and it'll highlight all the slight speckling.
It'll look great.
So that's it. Oh, and then I got, because I was getting my discount, I got the Licca. I'm really enjoying those 3.5-inch tips. So I got the set of the driftwood.
Yeah, needles.
Yeah, needles while I was there because I was getting a discount. So, you know, I
Might as
needed
well.
more needles.
Right? It's like buying more yarn to get.
That warmed me up. I feel like I need a drink.
I brought you Clamato juice to
I
mix
will
with
be
your
having a
vodka.
Bloody Caesar this afternoon.
When Paulette got here, we went to Red Lobster. I guess they don't have them there in
Oh, they don't?
Quebec anymore. They used
Okay.
to, but she said they'd all closed down. So we went to Red
Okay.
Lobster. We got an Australian waiter, and he came to the table and he's, like, good day, and what can I get you to drink and everything. And so she has her heavy French accent, and she's asking for a Bloody Caesar, and he is looking at her like she is crazy. And he's like, I don't know what that is. So she ended up not getting one. But then she was like, you guys haven't ever heard of it? And I was like, no. There's also a rimmer you can put around it. I found it on Amazon. It's called
You did find it.
Clamato rimmer. Of course, I couldn't get it to the lake house fast enough, but she's like, there's a rimmer. So we went to the liquor store where we were getting the vodka. I was like, do you guys have a rimmer for a Bloody Caesar? And she's like, we've got one for a margarita.
Yeah. This is Texas. That's what we have.
This is Texas.
Margarita rimmer.
I said, I was asking for it at a restaurant. She goes, and if they didn't have it at the restaurant, you thought we were going to have it here? I was like, well, you are a liquor store, but yeah, no. So anyway, Bloody Caesar.
We had so much fun with Paulette when we laughed so hard with the different languages and her accent and not pronouncing
She
certain
doesn't
letters.
pronounce the H's. So we're grocery shopping. There's a few things she wants to get while she's in the States that they don't have in Montreal. And so she's looking at me and she goes, where's your hominy? And I said, hominy? I don't think we have any hominy here. And she's like, yeah, you've got gold hominy and white hominy. I want the golden one. I was like, hominy. Hominy. She goes, oh yeah, we don't pronounce the H's. So then later on the weekend, somebody said, holy poop. But remember, we don't pronounce the H's, so it was Oli sit. Oli sit. So then Elizabeth says, I swear I'm going to make a pattern and I'm going to call it Oli sits. We had so much fun.
God.
It was very nice meeting her.
And the first night I got there, Carrie went to bed, and it was just Paulette and I, and we were talking about recipes, and she told me a recipe, and she missed the H on it, and I'm like, what? Well, when she showed me, and it was not appropriate, but it was so funny. We were laughing so hard. I mean, we were both crying, and we were right outside Carrie's door, and I thought for sure we were going to wake Carrie up, and then she's like, nope, and I'm like, we should have woke her up, because it was so darn funny. I mean,
they told me about it all the next morning. They're like, are you sure we didn't wake you up? I was like, I was out.
I have not laughed that hard in a long time. I mean, it was like my stomach hurt from laughing. And then I got in bed, and I'm in bed, and it's just like replaying it in my head, and then I start laughing in bed by myself. It's like, what? That's how
we had
funny
a
it
great
was.
time.
Yeah.
We had a really great time.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It's always nice. We do that. We go every year to
It
the
was
lake
hot
house.
though.
It was hot,
I
but
don't
it's
think
been
it was
hotter.
that hot though because it was so windy.
It's been hotter because I know I've
yeah.
sat out there before with my
We had
face
low
about
humidity,
the same color
so.
as this. But the first night that I was there alone with her, and you know, she's trying to pack from Canada. She's got all this winter clothes. She would go to Mexico every year for a trip or two, so she has summer clothes for the heat. She says, "Do you think I need any long sleeves or any long pants?" And I'm like, "No, it is hot." Sure enough, we get there Wednesday night. We wake up Thursday morning. It's 55 outside, which for me is a little chilly. I'm sure it's not chilly for her.
We
but
had some storms that blew through and it cooled everything
it
down.
felt amazing. I mean, quickly by 9 in the morning, it was already at 75 or whatever, but I'm talking early. I go to bed super early, but I also get up pretty early. So I was out on the dock at 6 in the morning and I was like, it's 55. And I told her not to bring any pants, no long sleeves, nothing. I was like, just bring the quilt down with you. We had these quilts and, but she was fine. And
Another funny thing is that we were kind of playing spies a little bit because Elizabeth brought her sock knitting machine and we're like, who doesn't have a pair of socks done by Elizabeth? We're like, Paulette. And we're like, what size shoes does she wear? And we're like, we don't know.
She doesn't wear socks.
She doesn't wear knitted socks. She gives them all away.
She gives them all away.
We were kind of cranking and trying to figure out what size shoes. And then Jennifer would go down and she'd be like, I like your shoes.
To Paulette,
and then we still couldn't. And then she's like, how do I get back to the cabin to tell them? It wasn't. And then our friend Evelyn went down there and she just killed it. She found out.
Abort the mission.
We ended up aborting the mission, but then we kept going because we made her. Janice.
They made
For
Janice.
Janice,
My
yeah.
sister. My sister has some socks coming. My sister's in Europe right now with the family, so my daughter's at the lake house right now, and when she gets back, she's gonna love to get those socks.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it was fun. Good memories.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Well, I guess we're almost to an hour. So, anything else, you guys?
no, I don't think so.
All right. Well,
Thanks again, Pia.
yes.
If you
And-
stayed this long through the Elizabeth show.
And welcome again to all the new viewers, and we appreciate all the people who have been watching us for a year when we were really shaky in the beginning.
We still are.
Yeah,
Still
we
every
are.
once
We
in a
are.
while.
Hopefully, we're getting a little
We're
better.
still awkward.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But we really appreciate everyone, and we love reading all your comments, and just glad to spend time with you. So,
Yeah.
and I know there's been a lot of ugliness in the world with all these shootings and everything. So please keep people in your prayers, and just practice kindness, because that's the only way we're going to get through this ugliness in the world. So,
Absolutely.
dive into your knitting. Happy knitting. Enjoy your summer wherever you are, or I don't know if we have anyone in the southern hemisphere. Winter, so
It might be winter.
we're jealous.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're dying.
Because we're having 100 this week, all week.
Yeah. And don't forget to comment below.
Yep. For the
So you can
giveaway.
win.
Yep.
For the giveaway.
Okay. All right. Happy knitting.
Bye.
Bye-bye.